Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if this is your first time clicking on my channel. This is not the type of videos I normally do on this channel, but I was just like thinking back to this story earlier today, and I threw a poll up on my Instagram to see if you guys wanted to hear the story. But before we get started in today's video, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button down below. That really helps out my channel. And let's get into the video. A really embarrassing thing to me, and I like literally told nobody. Like none of my family know, probably like none of my friends know. Like I really did not want anybody to know that this happened, but it did, and I'm going to share it with the world today, I guess. So I have to give you a little backstory on how it led up to getting a warrant out for my arrest. So it was probably, I think it was January 2013, and my husband, he was my boyfriend at the time, we were living in a rental house, and we finally kind of had the opportunity to get a dog, and we hadn't got one for a little while, but then all of a sudden local husky puppies popped up, and with my husband really wanting to get a dog, I agreed to go look at them. And I mean, husky puppies are like the cutest thing in the world, right? So we ended up getting one. Our 2-year-old son named her Baby, just kind of stuck, and she was a really, really good dog. She's so sweet. She was really awesome in the house. She potty trained really easily, but then she started having a problem with wanting to run away, which is kind of a typical for huskies. We didn't do any sort of research before we got a husky. We knew that they were like working sled dogs, but I was like, no problem. I go for walks all the time. Well, huskies are also like huge escape artists, and very quickly, when we'd take her out to go potty, she wouldn't stay just by us anymore. She would take off running, and in that rental house, we did not have a fenced-in yard. Soon we did move into our own house that did have a fenced-in yard. Anyway, she was a big escape artist. She would, if somebody opened the front door, she'd do anything in her power to try and get out. She would jump 6-foot fences. She would climb fences. She would slip out of her collar. She would break her chain, like anything. And we were good dog owners. We kept her inside with us most of the time, but she really did like being outdoors too. So she did spend quite a bit of time outside, and I can't even tell you how many times she escaped. It was a lot of times. And she would usually end up at the Humane Society, and at some point we got a ticket in the mail just because dog at large, she escaped so many times, and I was mad because she was more my husband's dog and the ticket came in my name. So I was mad about that. And my husband was like, don't worry, I'll take care of it, I'll get it paid. So I was really mad that this ticket came in my name, and I was like, I'm not paying this, you pay it. And he forgot to pay that. I'm not really faulting him for that because I was always the one that took care of all payments, all bills. That was just kind of my role. So he didn't get that paid, and I just thought he did, and he forgot and assumed I took care of it. Well, this ticket did not get paid. So fast forward a year. So our daughter Brielle was a newborn. Like I was still on maternity leave, so she was less than 6 weeks old. I'm not quite sure. And I also do not remember who this was, but somebody on Facebook messaged me and was like, hey, there's a warrant out for your arrest. And I'm like, what? Like, there's no way. And I wish I could remember who it was. I don't even remember. Anyway, kind of irrelevant. So I looked, sure enough, I was like on the warrant list. There was a warrant out for my arrest. If you know me, I'm kind of like a goody two-shoes. I don't break the law. I don't like to do things wrong. I'm a people pleaser. So I thought this absolutely had to be a mistake. So I called the sheriff's office. I thought I was just going to clear things up, right? So I called the sheriff's office, found out my warrant was out because that ticket was unpaid, and apparently there was a court hearing since we didn't pay the ticket, but somehow that got missed in the mail, and I don't ever remember getting anything saying there was a court date for it. So anyway, I didn't appear in court, so automatically there was a warrant out for my arrest. So the person that I was talking to at the sheriff's office made it seem to me like all I needed to do was go down to the courthouse, pay my ticket, and it would be fine. So The next day I go down to the courthouse. I have my newborn baby with me because I didn't know how long this was going to take. I'd never left her before. And I was really nervous about the whole thing, but I was also pretty reassured by the sheriff's office that I could just go down there, pay my ticket, and get it taken care of. So I go down there, I have my newborn baby with me, and I go to, I give them my name and tell them that I'm here to pay my ticket. And she goes, okay, let me call a guard down. So then I kind of like panicked, and I realized that, yeah, I have a warrant out for my arrest. I know I should have like realized this before that, but this is like when it really sank in for me. So she called a guard down, and immediately I start like literal panic attack because I had a newborn baby with me. I'm breastfeeding her. She's never had a bottle. There's no breast milk or formula at home. I mean, I was literally panicking. And by the time the guard got up to bring me down to book me into jail or whatever, I was like bawling, causing a scene. I was like, no, I have my baby with me. They're like asking me like, is there somebody that can come pick up your baby? I'm like, no, you don't understand. She's a newborn. I'm breastfeeding her. We have no milk for her. I'm like, this wasn't even my dog. And I'm just like kind of freaking out because I don't want to go to jail. To me, that was like absolute devastation, end of the world. So apparently this guard felt really bad for me. And he goes, all right, I'm going to see what I can do for you. He goes, I'm going to bring you to a room. So he brought me to this it was in the courthouse. It was like a little room where you can, I don't know, discuss things with people. It was just like a little room with chairs and a desk. And he told me that he said, stay right here. Do not leave. Do not go anywhere. He said, I'm going to go talk to the judge and see what I can do for you. He clearly felt really bad for me. So I'm in this room. I did call Rick, and I was, of course, like bawling and panicking. And he's like, it's going to be okay, I really think that if I didn't have Brielle with me that day, that I probably would have gone to jail. Which is crazy to think about. So anyway, he comes back, like 15, 20 minutes later, and he's like, and he tells me that the judge will see me this morning. I just have to wait for a little bit. So I think I probably waited for like an hour. The judge saw me, explained to him I got my ticket paid. I just didn't get the court letter and didn't know about it and whatever. And he let me go home, and I didn't get arrested, but I did have a warrant out for my arrest. So after this whole ordeal happened, I was so embarrassed and like shook up by it that I literally told nobody. Nobody like knew that this even happened because I was so embarrassed by it. Like I literally could have gone to jail that day. Yeah, just crazy. And if you want to hear another story pertaining to this dog baby, she had done something really bad and it like blew up in this town. We were on the news and it was kind of crazy. So if you want to hear that story, let me know in the comments below and I would be happy to share that with you. There's another story about my husband having a warrant out for his arrest and actually going to jail for something he had completely nothing to do with. So if you want to hear that story, let me know that too, and maybe I can get him to hop on here and share that story with, because that's another really good story. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Don't judge me. I never would ever intentionally try and break the law, but I really wanted to share this story with you. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.